Hello, you few very bored people who have come to watch this video. Usually I would be the person who would be watching these videos from YouTube. But anyway, this is gonna be a short walk around video of my 2003 Audi RS6 Avant, which is for sale. And it's been for sale nigh on 2 years already. So I'm running kind of out of ideas how to sell this car. So this is kind of like the last little idea that I have somehow to promote the sale of this car. So 2003 RS6 Avant, the color is called Daytona Grau Metallic. I hope the camera will pick it up. It has this flakiness to it. Anyways, from the outside, nothing really spectacular. First thing I want to point out that these are the winter wheels, so I haven't gotten around changing to summer wheels yet. Otherwise, from the outside, as stock as can be really, besides the window tints. Nothing remarkable. I want to point out the blemish here. This might be the biggest one on this car. It's on the rear bumper here. So this is me reversing into the side door of a taxi Mazda 3. So that's all me. And you can see there's like scrapage on it. When it's wet it doesn't show out, but when it's dry you can see the scrapage. And that's a GoPro mount. But one thing I want to point out again, so from the garage ceiling some, I suppose it's calcium, has dripped down, so it was here on the window too, but I managed to scrape it off with a lot of window cleaner and with a credit card, so it came off pretty easy. But another blemish I would want to point out, again, my driving. I managed to drive into a wall in our old town. So I was trying to go to an underground garage and I just didn't have help from my co-drivers spotting the wall, and I kind of scraped it. So just to complete the walk around, there's a seal loose here. I have to put it back. But just to complete the walk around from the outside, this is pretty much how the car sits. If I'll point out something, then rock chips. Plenty of rock chips on the front bumper. You can see I brought this car from Germany 3 years ago now myself. This is all Autobahn rock chips, and of course in Estonia too you can see the number plate has rock chips on it. But that would be it from the outside walk around. So let's jump in to the driver's seat. So coming in from the driver's seat, the first thing you would want to watch is the driver's seat itself. Nothing terrible wrinkled as the leather would be. I've oiled it myself. It's not too worn. The car has covered 261,663 kilometers. But let's move on in. The steering wheel, as you can see, not too worn, if worn at all. When you spec this car new, you could choose between 3 steering wheels, and this should be the most expensive one. With the paddle shifters, move on in, they work as they should. Downshift, upshift on the other side. What I could point out from the interior trim is the carbon fiber. I think on this car, the nicest ones, there's some wooden ones I've seen. I would say the carbon fiber suits the car best. Of course, as every car would have regular seats. Moving on here, usual wear and tear on the light switch. That has happened in my hands. When I got this car, there was no chips there. In the center console here, a bit more chipping on the mirror switches. Moving on to the navigation screen here, your standard old period correct navigation screen. I've seen few cars without the navigation at all, just with a plain radio, but most of the RSs, I mean, I would stretch out to say 95% either have the navigation plus, or the RS pluses even have the RNS-E, which is almost nigh on modern compared to this unit. But this car has the regular navigation plus. So moving on to the gauge cluster here, nothing new here. I'm just gonna turn on the ignition to show the mileage. So the car, like I said, 261,663 kilometers. Last thing, if I could point out something, is that this sticky rubbery coating is peeling. But this is also kind of regular on these cars, or standard to have this sticky rubber coating peeling, so it's basically everywhere where it can peel, it's peeling. Moving on to back here, this car has the window curtains. I'm pretty sure all of these have, all the RS6 Avants and sedans for that matter too. And as you can see, The rear compartment is pretty fresh and the seats are not worn at all. Obviously people have sat in them, so there's some wrinkles on the leather here, but not much. There's standard old carpeting, some scratches on the seat backs, but you know, this car is 15 years old, so it's an old lady, like the last owner said to me about this car, so treat it as such. If I would point out something, then as you can see, one of the cup holders is perfectly fine, but the other cup holder is broken. The front one is the same. This is fully broken, so this is how it's been since I got the car. But otherwise, just as your normal used RS6 would be. I don't know if it's even worth pointing out that this car has Bose sound system, but they all have that from that period. Let's move closer. A regular old Avant boot here, quite large. Even the boot seal isn't scuffed too much. I'm not sure even if anyone before me even used this boot much for hauling things. I do it rarely, but I've had my bike in here. This liner is here. Of course, this one side is broken. Somebody before me has substituted the plastic piece with a screw. The other side is okay, but it will stay in its place even with the screw. So if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. It has the window blind, but I never use it. There's a reason my car's windows are tinted. I just like the privacy and the protection from the sun. I'm pretty sure everything that is supposed to be in there is in there. I've opened it up maybe only once, and some more of that calcium has dripped in here too. I just remembered before we go up front, maybe somebody's keen to see, it has cargo netting, the original first aid kit, and if I already opened it up, I will dig in here, so give me a second.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
I screwed it open. It still has its cap. It just came off. I didn't bother putting it back. I have the oil in the trunk just to add oil when it asks for it, because this car sometimes needs topping up. But let's open this up here. Okay, well apparently I can't move this anymore because, as you can see, there's a relay in here. I'm not running the stock fuel pump, but I'll put this on the screen in writing now. The feeder pump was changed. In-tank pump is not changed. Coming back to the other stuff here, a proper battery. When I got this car, it had a smaller and not quality battery in it, a cheaper company, but I bought the proper one from Varta. It even has the stock tire mousse and air pump for the mousse, plus all the other kit you need to repair your tire, the side pods. When we're opening up everything here, I'll just open these up too. The 6-disc CD changer, and the subwoofer is here, and everything that goes on back here with the rear lights. Close this up. I think this is all the boot covered now. I mean, to the points that when I would be buying this car, I wouldn't even look at these cubby holes. So as you've seen from this far, I like to keep my car mostly clean, but to a level of reason. So that same thing applies under the bonnet, so it's a bit dusty, but not the end of the world. You can see the engine bay here. I mean, from side to side, it's everything as it is stock. This button doesn't latch properly. That's maybe the main thing that's wrong here. Take this off, place it up there. As you can see, everything is stock. The stock pipe passes, which I've changed once in my hand. Otherwise, just as it should be, the stock airbox with stock filters in it on this side. Again, some broken plastic as always. If I could show here, the air coolers. Those are aftermarket silicone hoses, and the air coolers themselves are stock actually. If I've skimped out on anything on this car, it was the air coolers. I had them glued, or the air leaks got glued. They weren't too bad, so gluing was good enough. As I said, I drive this car as a daily. It's not a race car or anything. I didn't deem it necessary to spend that extra money on buying new or aftermarket air coolers, but otherwise I haven't gimped on the maintenance whatsoever. If something's needed doing, I've done it. So yeah, this is a little overlook from under the bonnet to say nothing noteworthy. And I think this pretty much covers it for this little walk around. I mean, I've been going on for nigh on 10 minutes or more. This is how the car sits. The car is on H&R coilovers. I have all four corners adjusted to a reasonable height, so even if I pop in the stock size 19, 255, 35 summer wheels and tires, then it doesn't rub or hit the fenders. It's perfectly fine. Even going 250 kilometers per hour over bumps on an autobahn, everything is working as it should. One thing if it's worth pointing out, the solar sunroof. I'll walk around the car here once more, try to close this out. So it's been a little walk around of the car I'm trying to sell for 2 years already. No interest whatsoever, I'm not gonna lie, no interest whatsoever. So it's kind of like the last straw here that I'm trying to pull to see if it helps anyone make their mind. It's an honest car. I hope it showed on the video. I haven't spent crazy amounts of money maintaining it. I haven't done anything more than I should, but I haven't done anything less than I should either. It's been a good daily driver, and that's how I've kept it. And I think I'll wrap this up here. Or I could keep on rambling, but that's no help for me or you, the viewer. So thank you for watching. I mean, if you watched to this point, you really have got nothing to do with your time, but I'm the same person. I spend too much time on YouTube. Anyway, cheers!